Hello, grade 3 students. A long time we haven't talked. I really miss you, everyone. I hope you're all doing well and enjoyed your last week and you had a great time. So, today we're actually going to work on decimals. So, probably be asking what is decimals? It's unit 11 that we're working on for math for this week. But just going to be a video, so I would like you just to watch this video, have fun, find out what decimals is, and learn some vocabulary words about the decimals. And next week we're going to do some exercises. But I'm gonna give you a very small exercise from your math pupils book. So let's get started and watch this little video. So we're going shopping and let's find out what we're going to buy and some items, how much do they cost, how much money I pay, how much money I get back. I'll find out then later on what decimals is. Okay, let's get started. Hi, how
Hey,
are you?
I'm
Uh,
fine.
how much is this piece of cake, please?
It's $1.50.
Oh, dollar and a half. Okay, there we go. Thanks.
You're welcome, bye.
See ya.
So when I actually went to the shop, I was actually asking for a piece of cake and it cost about $1.50. So that's what I paid. It's $1.50. So let's discuss now the words that we're going to be using for the decimals unit and find out what kind of terms that we really need to focus on so that we can make our decimals unit much easier. So let's start first with the word decimal. So Decimal. So the decimal as it's pointing up here, so it's the dot that which is between number one and number five. So just a dot. But this dot makes a big difference. So let's move to the next word. Okay, now you got these two words that we need to know. So we got whole number part and fraction part. So just remember these ones really carefully. So we have the number 2.7. I did not read it for you correctly because you will do this now on your own. Okay, so a whole part number just like number 2 that you have up here. And the number 7 is a fraction part. It's a decimal point which actually separates it away from the whole number part. Okay, now how do you read 2 and dot 7? I will give you 10 seconds to think. Just do it. Okay, the answer is actually we just say the 2.7 is this is how we read our um, number over here. Okay, try to train yourselves to think about how you can name these ones over here and find out different types of fractions and whole numbers, try to put them together, and try to practice reading these numbers. All right. Now, just a quick reminder about the place values. Remember that we worked on them on the first term, and what we did is something called the tens, ones, but not the tenth. The tenth is a bit different, but we have the numbers, for example, here, which is the 42.8. 42.8. Now, the number 4 is in the tens place, number 2 is in the ones place. And now, when we move to the decimals, we get the first number as in the 10th place. So it's not the ones. So we call them tenth. And then the number after the 10th in the decimals place, we call it hundredth. So we're not going to do the hundredth right now until the next week. Okay, so remember that the first number that we have over here is actually 10th. Okay, so the 10th comes the first. Just to remind you, the 10th comes the first in after the decimals point. Okay. Okay, so now the easiest way to discuss the decimals or the fractions is through using shapes. So, for example, we have the whole shape just like a rectangle here as one whole. One whole means number one, just like a whole number as a number one. So we can just say number one. Now, what we have the other side over here, the number 1 has actually 10 tenths. This means I can divide my number 1 into 10 squares. So the first square we can call it a 1/10, the second one we can call it a 2/10, and then you can get the third one here as a 3/10, and now you have to go on until you reach to the number 1. So if you have the last number or the last fraction as 10/10, you don't have to say 10/10, you can just say 1, because 10 divided by 10 equals the number 1. So this means if you shade the numbers, for example, if I tell you that you need 2/10, so you would shade 2 squares. So this will be if I say, for example, 2/10, you can just express them as a decimal, just like that, 0.2. Now, if you have a 3/10, this will actually give you this decimal point, so 0.3, and so on. So you keep on going with the whole number first. So the whole number can be divided into 10 squares. Each square represents 1/10. So we're starting with number 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, and so on, and keep on going. After you reach to the last one, which is 10/10, which means it's the number 1. Okay, because 10 divided by 10 is the number 1. Okay, now I will tell you why we're doing this. Maybe you're asking, but what we're actually doing, numbers don't always be represented as a one whole. Remember when I went to the shop, when I bought something like a piece of cake, it cost about 1.5. So the 0.5 is actually a very important number in money and different types of things that we do in our daily life. So in seconds in the clock, or maybe in the when you use the microwave, or so these little numbers actually differ. Okay, let me explain to you more things with the place values right now. Okay, so I just actually took this example from your math pupils book, and it shows here 3 rectangles. So each rectangle represents a one whole number. This means I have 3 rectangles right now, but one of the rectangles is actually not finished, so it's not shaded totally. Okay, now let me just tell you one thing here. I can just say that the fully shaded rectangle will represent one number, so I have one, and this is also fully shaded, so I also have another one. Until now I have 2 rectangles which were shaded. Now for this one over here, we have 3 squares which are not shaded, but we have 7 of them shaded already. So this means this whole number is not completed. So let's try to count and find out how many tenths we have in this rectangle. So let's say we have um, 1/10 first, we have 2/10, and 3/10, 4/10. We're counting together, 5/10, 6/10. It's not really clear. Okay, we have 7/10. So the number I have right now, which is the last one shaded here, is 7/10. So 7/10 would actually be represented just like 0.7. Okay, it's not a whole number because 7 is not completed until the number 10. Look at these 3 numbers left here. If they were completed, we will get a one whole number, but it actually ended until 7/10. So if you try to add all of these, now we have 1, another one here, and 0.7. Let's try to add them all together. So we have 1 plus 1 equals 2. Now this will give me an easy chance now to give me
to find an answer for how many do we have, how many shaded or how many fractions do we have over here. What's the fraction that we have? So we have 2 now plus, I will take the 0.7, put it down here. So I have 2 plus 0.7. Now my answer should be a 2.7. So now my fraction is a 7. My ones over here is the number 2. Okay, so now here we can just explain that we have ones over here as a whole. Oh, sorry, the two ones that we have over here, and the last one over here is a fraction. So we have 7/10 as a fraction. Okay, I hope this helps you really much. I would like you to take a look at your Math Pupils book and try to find out different ways on how to work on also the decimals or the fractions. Look at the shapes or try to find the tenths in the shapes. This will give you very much easier chance to understand the decimals. If you have any questions, please come back to me. I hope this was a helpful lesson. Just before you leave now, we're actually going to use another website instead of the iExcel. So the iExcel has actually expired. You did a lot of good job, a lot of good work, but it was only a trial. So we're actually going to use the Han Academy. It's this website we're gonna be using, and it's so much just like the iExcel, and you can do a lot of good job the same way, just like you did on the iExcel. Okay, now I'm gonna be sending you the usernames and passwords for today. I'm sorry it took me long, but I had to set it up and get it ready for you. And I'm gonna send you the usernames and passwords today. Okay, I hope you enjoy. You can download, by the way, you can download the application on your phone or tablet, or you can just open the website on your laptop. So you can work on that and have fun. But please just work on the suggested work that I'm gonna be sending you. Okay, have a great time, guys. Take care.